A Calgary pastor is charged with voyeurism.
It's a violation on any level.
Police say he recorded women without their knowledge after offering them a place to stay. Plus, an Alberta mother warning other parents about an online extremist network.
It's definitely painful. I never felt I would ever be in this situation.
A CTV exclusive investigation into the dangers of a group called 764.
They're trying to find individuals who are essentially vulnerable.
And you know what they say about working with animals.
Dogs have a way of taking all the attention.
But Dorothy needs a sidekick, so the search for Toto is on.
I just think, she's got what it takes.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Police have charged a Calgary pastor with voyeurism after hundreds of intimate photos and videos were found. Investigators believe there are multiple victims. A former church employee confirms to CTV News Brad Doer is a pastor and a senior leader at Victory Churches International. He's listed as the secretary of the organization and was the former dean of the Victory Bible College. Jordan Canagan is near the church headquarters tonight, and Jordan, police say the man met the victims through church.
Tara, Calgary police say that Brad Doer met those women through his position at church and captured intimate photos and videos of those women at his home without their consent. Investigators were first tipped off in November of last year. A search of a home along Westwood Drive Southwest found multiple devices with 1,500 photos and 19 videos of an intimate nature. At least 3 victims have been identified, and police say the pastor allowed women to stay short-term at his home between 2016 and this year. 68-year-old Brad Doer is now facing 3 counts of voyeurism. Victim advocates say incidents involving people in positions of trust and power are unfortunately all too common.
It shakes the foundation of everything that we believe in, what we grew up with, in our upbringing, really. For those of us who are connected either with our church communities or at schools where this may have happened or other places where we really just inherently have that trust for people around us, it's really hard for us to rebuild that type of trust going forward.
Now, that former employee I spoke to says that Doer was at work at this building behind me earlier on today. The church has not replied to any type of request for comment from CTV News. Doer is scheduled to appear in court next month. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. Investigators need your help to identify a man in a Canada Day attack. They say the suspect tried to sexually assault a female jogger after he knocked her to the ground. Police released these sketches of the suspect. He is in his mid-30s, about 6 feet tall, with a muscular or heavy build, black hair, acne scars, along with a distinctive scar behind his right ear. The woman was hit over the head while out for a morning jog in the community of Ranchero Park. The victim fought back, though, as her attacker tried to sexually assault her. He then fled and she called 911. Police were not able to locate the suspect. If you know who he is, you can contact police or Crime Stoppers. An Alberta mother is warning other parents tonight about a terrifying online extremist network that targeted her teenage daughter. The group, known as 764, lures vulnerable youth through seemingly innocent video game platforms to manipulate and exploit them in horrific ways. It has been the target of police stings in the United States, but little has been done about it by any Canadian law enforcement. Terry Fikowski has more in this exclusive report.
This quiet rural community is the last place you'd expect a child to be targeted by a violent international extremist network, but that's the living nightmare unfolding for the mother of a 14-year-old girl in small-town central Alberta. CTV is not identifying her or the family's location for their safety.
She locks herself in her room. She doesn't want to associate with anyone in the home.
Her daughter struggled with her mental health for years, but things escalated to a frightening tipping point roughly a year ago.
She'd written on her wall in blood. She had cut herself here and carved on her legs.
She also discovered disturbing sexually exploitive pictures and conversations on her phone with a member of 764, an ideologically motivated child exploitation enterprise formed in 2021, named after the founder's zip code in Texas. The founder of the group, who was just 15 at the time, is now serving an 80-year prison sentence, and the FBI has charged other alleged leaders. A few teens have been charged here in Canada, but the RCMP says 764 operates under a number of different aliases, making it hard to pin down and remains a serious threat.
It is a combination of neo-Nazism, Satanism, and self-harm. They also call it accelerationism, which means basically trying to get to the point where it's anarchy.
Members use encrypted platforms like the instant messaging service Discord. They also use popular online games Roblox and Minecraft to recruit youth.
The most disturbing stuff that you can imagine. Not only are they getting kids to self-harm, but they're also convincing their kids to, kill and mutilate animals, family pets, abuse siblings.
She's told me she'll stab me in my sleep.
Desperate to protect her family, this mother took away her daughter's phone and devices, only to learn she was still accessing the platforms at school, and says seeking support from the school board, healthcare system, and police has been an exhausting uphill battle.
She doesn't think I care, but I'm doing this all because I love her.
Nobody has been charged, but she's not giving up.
And Terry joins us now. Terry, this is going to be so worrying for parents when they hear this. So what should they be looking for?
Well, police say that first and foremost, you should be watching what your child is doing online, monitoring their activity. But there are some key indicators that they could be targeted by 764 members. Of course, a lot of teenagers do keep to themselves, but be aware if your child is being excessively withdrawn or moody. You'll also want to pay attention if they suddenly become infatuated with new online friends or a network. And if you notice that family pets are suddenly becoming fearful or younger siblings in the home, that's another red flag. Also, police say if your child starts writing in blood or covering their skin in unusual ways, maybe using excessive bandages, something to watch for. And if they start to show a sudden interest in things like conspiracy theories, Nazism, school shootings, or serial killers, just some things to watch out for.
Wow. Okay, so if you do see any of these warning signs or you discover that your child is actually being targeted, then what?
Well, first and foremost, RCMP say that it's really important to let your child know that they're not going to be in trouble if they had started to engage in some of these activities, and they should tell a trusted adult. But when you know that this is going on, first stop all communication and don't give in to any of the threats. Well, you might think to delete the accounts. Don't do that. Instead, just deactivate it. And then RCMP are asking that you take screenshots or save images of your messaging, the person's profile picture or their username, and then report it to RCMP or police in your area so that they can investigate this. And I know this is a lot to take in, but we do have more tips and red flags and information on this group up on our CTV Calgary website.
Okay, that's excellent. Terry Fikowski reporting. Terry, thank you for that. That's all really good information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Air Canada says it will start canceling flights tomorrow as it faces a potential strike by flight attendants on Saturday. It comes during the busy summer travel season, and it could create a domino effect on passengers and the whole industry. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
As YYC passengers board their Air Canada flights, some are concerned for their return home.
Yeah, because I'm coming back next week, so I'm a bit worried about it.
Air Canada will begin canceling flights on Thursday, and by Saturday, all flights by Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge will be grounded. It's caused enough turbulence in travel plans for some to make alternate arrangements.
I was up most of the night worrying about how we were going to get home on Monday.
Holiday changed her return flight from Toronto to WestJet.
It was very expensive, but we need to be back in Calgary, and we don't have time to drive back, so we're kind of stuck.
Others are taking it in stride.
We're going to rent a car if that happens, and then stop at all the provincial parks.
The cancellation follows a 72-hour strike notice from the union representing 10,000 flight attendants. In response, Air Canada issued a lockout notice for Saturday. The airline said in an online statement it reached an impasse in talks after the union declined to enter a binding arbitration process. For now, the federal government is staying on the sidelines but offering mediators to help with negotiations. The key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours.
Air Canada has made $3.5 billion in the last 2 years. There is money to pay our flight attendants.
Air Canada says customers whose flights are cancelled will be notified. The airline passengers will be eligible for a refund, but one expert warns against taking it before the official strike.
What passengers are owed in such situation are meals, accommodation, lump sum compensation up to $1,000, and rebooking on either Air Canada's own or partner airlines to depart within 9 hours of the original departure time. Or, if it's not feasible, then Air Canada has to buy them a ticket on a competitor airline's next available flight.
So Jackie joins us from the airport tonight. So are other airlines now preparing for an influx of passengers?
So, Tara, I did reach out to WestJet and Porter today, and they both tell me at this time they have no plans to adjust their operations schedule. But, of course, Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge, they carry about 130,000 customers every single day. And so with these cancellations, that could create a domino effect in the industry. And so it'll be interesting to see if potentially they make some change in the future. Back to you.
Okay, Jackie, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The Calgary Soccer Centre was forced to close for extensive cleaning after suspected cases of hand, foot and mouth disease at the site. The city says the Southeast facility was closed as a precaution following reports of the disease among a few children attending a day camp. Alberta Health Services was contacted and enhanced cleaning measures were completed throughout the building. All indoor soccer games and field rentals were cancelled last night. The centre is now open again and the city is apologizing for any inconvenience. Well, the weather's been pretty nice lately, but it's brought some pests with it. Many Calgarians may have noticed more mosquitoes in green spaces everywhere. As Tyler Barrow reports, it's no surprise after a few rainy weeks.
Yep, they're bad this year. The increased mosquito population is felt throughout the city.
They're fun.
Nicole Hendricks has several battle wounds just from walking.
It's a real concern. I mean, it's annoying.
According to the city of Calgary, there are more mosquitoes this year than last year and noticeably more than a typical August. The spike coincides with the record-making rain the city experienced in July. The mosquitoes bothering Calgarians are a floodwire species, laying their eggs in spots that fill up with water.
You get a lot of areas that suddenly have water in them, and then once the weather starts to heat up, those eggs are hatching and those larvae are developing, and then we get all the adult mosquitoes that we're seeing right now.
The University of Calgary is currently running a program with the city to monitor mosquito population and understand which species are most common.
In our traps, we've gotten 4 to 40 times more mosquitoes this year, depending on the trap.
So Higgin does recommend people use bug repellent to reduce the likelihood of getting bitten and contracting the West Nile virus. Other recommendations by pest experts include wearing long-sleeve shirts and pants, and also dumping containers collecting water every 3 to 5 days like flower pots and fruit bats to prevent mosquitoes from laying their eggs.
If it's water that you plan to be using, like in a rain barrel or something like that, then just cover it with a mesh screen so that mosquitoes can't get in there and lay their eggs.
And while this year may feel like the worst in recent memory, Coker noted 2022 was even worse, according to data collected by the city. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the University of Calgary and the city continue to conduct a citizen science project examining mosquito ecology and potential health implications. If you're walking around Inglewood Bird Sanctuary or Ralph Klein Park, you can grab a mosquito kit there and then use it to collect the bugs, dead or alive. Danielle is outside tonight, hopefully not being eaten alive by mosquitoes. We should have thrown a net over you or something.
Yes, I need a net out here. The mosquitoes are bad out here. It's not very warm out here. I would say it's raining in some parts of the city, and some parts of the city are seeing some sunshine, and it's windy overall. So yes, it's a cooler, windier day in comparison to the bright, sunny heat that we had yesterday in the city. And we'll get back to that sunny heat. It's going to take a day or so. 16 degrees is the current temperature at the airport, well below normal. Gusts around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, and that will last for the rest of this evening. We have this small potential of thunderstorm activity, but most likely we're looking at pockets of showers that could last on and off up until midnight. Tomorrow, expect a cool day, mainly cloudy, just a high of 15 in the afternoon. Your full forecast is coming up, Tara.
Thanks, Danielle. Nearly a year after Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau were killed by a suspected drunk driver, the Hockey brothers' widows are launching a foundation in their honor.
It was never lost on John and Maddie about how expensive it is to maintain hockey as a hobby, especially you have to start so young.
Speaking on Good Morning America, Madeline and Meredith Gaudreau officially launched the John and Matthew Gaudreau Foundation. It will help cover costs for hockey families and those facing tragedy, as well as helping those affected by drunk driving. The Gaudreau brothers were struck and killed while riding their bikes in New Jersey hours before their sister's wedding. Johnny Hockey played 10 seasons in the NHL, the first 8 with the Calgary Flames. Today would have been his 32nd birthday.
Half of me, the best part of me, died that day too. So I'm just trying to be double now for my kids, even though I'm half of who I was.
Sean Higgins is accused in the brother's death. He has pled not guilty to charges of aggravated manslaughter, vehicular homicide, evidence tampering, and leaving the scene of an accident. More of Calgary's vacant office space is being converted. This time, the old Barclay Centre will be turned into 166 new homes. We'll tell you what makes this location so special. And later, the stars of Happy Gilmore 2 are here. Not Adam Sandler, the real PGA golfers who made cameos in the movie. If you have a news tip ever, you can just text us at 10-400. More empty offices in downtown Calgary are being converted into homes. The latest project will create 166 units for rent when it's complete in late 2027. Although it adds to Calgary's housing supply, for some renters, affordable options are already very hard to come by. Here's Stephanie Thomas.
Samantha Adair is looking for a new place to live and is hoping to rent in Calgary by October.
There's so much that needs to be done, and we need more units. We need lower pricing.
She doesn't expect to find relief from the rental market as home ownership also becomes increasingly out of reach.
There's no way I can afford it because not only is rent really expensive, wages are still really low.
She's not alone. According to the city's housing needs assessment, 1 in 5 Calgary households cannot afford their housing. City officials are once again looking to increase housing supply by converting vacant downtown office space into residences. In this latest project, the federal government is providing $65 million on top of $10 million from the city to transform this tower into rental units.
But families are having a hard time finding homes that meet their needs and that they can afford. Solving this crisis won't be easy, but it is possible.
The Barclay Tower at 4th Street and 6th Avenue Southwest sits across from the Calgary Court Centre downtown. Of the 166 units, 45 are slated as affordable. Getting more homes in the core is part of the city's downtown strategy.
And it literally always was the dream to have residential right in the core, like right by the shopping, right by the park.
The developer is Toronto-based Dream Unlimited Corp. 3 other office conversions have been completed since 2021. Residents are expected to move in by late 2027. For Calgarians like Adair, affordable options are needed much sooner.
It's so much harder to afford the basic necessities of life, including housing, but especially housing.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
The city says 4 more downtown conversion projects are expected to be move-in ready by the end of this year. To the wildfires now on Vancouver Island. A wildfire south of Port Alberni is more than 20 square kilometers in size tonight. The fire has already prompted states of local emergency and forced evacuations on south central Vancouver Island. The Mount Underwood fire is one of 7 classified as out of control in BC. There were about 90 active wildfires in the province as of today. On the east coast, Newfoundland residents are on high alert because of the wildfire threat there. Thousands have been told to be ready to leave their homes at a moment's notice. A string of fires were started overnight in downtown St. John's. Police say they are all suspicious. A Calgary beach volleyball player representing Alberta at the Canada Games in Newfoundland was sidelined temporarily because of the wildfire threat.
We have been waiting for this tournament and this big event for so long and been so excited for it for so long. So, you know, every day that gets postponed, for sure, like, we wish that we were on that court more than anything. That's what we came here to do. We came here to prove so much to so many people. So disappointed a little bit in that sense, for sure.
19-year-old Sasha Pazlowski and her teammates' 2 matches yesterday were among several events forced to be either postponed or relocated. Box lacrosse, soccer, and sailing were also impacted. Pazlowski's situation is a bit unique because a beach volleyball court can't just be simply relocated somewhere. Play did resume late this afternoon, but without spectators, and Pazlowski and her partner beat Nova Scotia. Buses are on standby if the smoke gets worse and athletes need to leave.
This is CTV News Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast. It's got a little more rain in it for tonight anyway.
Yeah, a little more rain and another cool day for Calgary. And then we warm up for the weekend. So if you have weekend plans to be outdoors, well, then I have good news for you. I'll show you the longer range in just a second. Check out these temperatures. You can really see where that cold air is filtering from. And we talked about the southeast having one more hot day before things cooled down, whereas in Calgary, we cooled down today. So you have that colder air filtering in. We still got into the 30s in Medicine Hat, Milk River, and Lethbridge earlier today. But what we have is this cold front that's swiping through. And when we add that to the hot temperatures, which is the fuel, this has sparked up some intense weather that really intensified as it made its way over to the Saskatchewan side. I'll show you the radar in just a second. 67 kilometers per hour, the max wind gusts in Pincher Creek today, and just over 50 in Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and closer to 60 recently in Calgary. So yes, windy today, and it's that colder wind predominantly out of the north and northwest. So a bit of a bite out there. Still nice, but chillier, a lot chillier than yesterday at this time. In the yellow, this is a severe thunderstorm watch that's in place, and it's really from Strathmore down through Vulcan, Champion, Brooks, Medicine Hat. Earlier today, Brooks and East, where there was actually a tornado watch in place, but it really didn't gain that intensity until it made its way into Saskatchewan. I'll show you the radar here, and you can see this line of storms. Check that out. So it really intensified once it hit the border here and then kind of blew up over here. So for us, that meant some good news. We had mainly clear skies in many communities. We had cooler temperatures. This is a cold front, and that's that lift. And when you combine it with the heat, certainly a lot of ingredients in place for active weather. So these storms that are not intense right now, one tracking through Calgary at this point, a non-severe thunderstorm, as it tracks off to the east where we have all the heat, it could actually intensify. So especially towards the southeast, there is the potential for more severe thunderstorms. Brooks down through the Medicine Hat area and Hannah later today. Calgary, we're getting a non-severe thunderstorm at this point, and there's a couple more on the way. So isolated showers, non-severe thunderstorms, right up until midnight is certainly possible. Here's a look at the midnight hour. Things really start to clear out. Further to the south, Lethbridge over to Medicine Hat, you may see a few isolated showers tomorrow morning. And then it's a quiet day overall. For Calgary, mainly cloudy and certainly a cool day. Rain arrives again Friday morning. It shouldn't be significant, but on and off showers throughout Friday morning certainly possible. Just a high of 16 for tomorrow, a high of 21 by Friday. So we're back into the 20s with morning showers on Friday. And by the weekend, the clouds will start to clear out and we'll get back into those mid-20s, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. The Calgary Stampeders have a week off before they face Saskatchewan in their biggest game of the year, but the team is also hoping for a big win off the field. Some Stamps players visited the Calgary Food Bank today ahead of Purolator Tackle Hunger Night on August 23rd. Fans are being asked to bring non-perishable food items to the game, which will then go to the food bank. Last year, the initiative collected over 43,000 pounds of food.
A lot of Calgarians are struggling, as many as 1 in 4 Calgarians struggle just to put food on the table to feed their children and to be able to afford to make healthy choices for their families.
The Stamps host Saskatchewan August 23rd at 5 p.m. We pay some of the highest auto insurance premiums in the country here in Alberta. The province says it has a plan to change that, but even the Insurance Bureau of Canada is taking a wait-and-see approach. And her little dog, too. A casting call for pups with personality for an over-the-rainbow assignment. The provincial government is developing new legislation that claims to lower car insurance premiums. But the Insurance Bureau of Canada says the new system may not be setting Albertans up for success. CTV's Connor Hogg explains.
It's a little high. It's probably a little bit too high, especially compared to like other
provinces.
The cost of car insurance is top of mind at the Collision Reporting Center on Edmonton's south side. Danny Reimer is here after being hit by another driver. He says his insurance bill doesn't reflect his driving record.
My monthly insurance fees is pretty high for somebody who's been doing a good job of being safe on the roads, right?
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says Albertans pay some of the highest auto insurance premiums in the country. Lowering those premiums is something the province is hoping to do with its new Care First insurance model. The province says this new model gives Albertans more money up front in the event of a crash to deal with vehicle, medical, and other costs, as opposed to funds being tied up in lawsuits.
Pull out a lot of that litigation, pull out the conflict, and invest that into enhanced benefits so that consumers and those injured in collisions are able to recover much more quickly and much more fully.
While the ICB's vice president says he welcomes the change, he says decreasing premiums will depend on the balance the province strikes between payouts and how much legal action is allowed.
Hard to see savings at this point if we're going to have the most generous benefits as well as the greatest ability to sue of all care-based systems. But again, we're still a few months out from knowing exactly what that's going to look like. It could increase premiums by up to $136 annually, more than somewhere like Manitoba or British Columbia that doesn't include this right to sue.
Alberta plans to switch to the Care First model in January 2027. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
More than 14,000 Albertans took advantage of advance voting in the upcoming Battle River Crowfoot by-election. That's about the same number as the number of advance votes during the actual election in April. More than 200 names are listed on the ballot for the by-election, where Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre is hoping to pick up a seat in Parliament. Election day is August 18th. Stocks closed higher today as the market extended a rally back to record high levels. The TSX was up 72 points to 27,993. The Dow climbed 1% or more than 400 points to 44,922. The dollar was up slightly to 72.64. West Texas Intermediate was down 55 cents to 61.93, and Alberta's Western Canadian Select was down 47 cents to 50.25 US. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of a tight game, but this isn't exactly what you'd expect. Mother Nature runs the bases and sends players to the dugout. That's next. Furry hopefuls padded into Alberta theatre projects Wednesday morning, all of them vying for the same coveted role in The Wizard of Oz. Our reporter Kevin Green was there too as the wannabe Totos begged and barked their way through auditions.
No, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're at the Alberta Theatre Project's auditions room looking for the perfect Toto for its upcoming production of The Wizard of Oz.
Like actors, we're looking for dogs who have that it quality, the ability to, number one, be in an ensemble, take orders, commands, do some tricks, maybe have some tricks up their sleeves.
Does she bark at all?
They're actually looking for 2 Totos for the demanding 8 shows a week during the November to January run.
Finding a stage dog is always an exciting part of a show. It's exciting for the director, it's exciting for the whole team, because they really are a part of the company. They're a part of the ensemble.
They're also part of the payroll. The gig comes with a contract, a paycheck, and their name in the playbill. Candace Puttifant is hoping her Yorkshire Terrier Gypsy makes the cut, saying her pooch is no stranger to pleasing an audience.
I've always said that, I think Gypsy has the personality to maybe be a dog model or be in the movies. If whatever happens, I just think, she's got what it takes.
Martine Callum brought Kylo, who's already been training, to answer to Toto.
It's like he just kind of looks a little like Toto, and we thought he just a chill dog that likes to be carried, and that's kind of Toto, right?
And Crystal Cassidy entered Augie, admitting she'll be a bit of a stage dog mum.
The experience, I think, would be great. More for me than the dog.
Stage performances of The Wizard of Oz often use puppets instead of real dogs because canines sometimes go off script.
I think a dog might be unpredictable, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
And they can upstage their human co-stars.
Dogs have a way of taking all the attention just because they're cute and adorable.
The dogs vying to steal the show, and of course their human handlers, find out their fate in the next couple of days. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
ATP's The Wizard of Oz opens November 25th and it runs through January 4th at Martha Cohen Theatre. How on earth are they going to choose out of those 15 dogs? They all look pretty cute.
Hard.
Well, here's a pretty cute dog too. He's a rare Vietnamese dog and he's showing off her even rarer tightrope skills. You probably thought I was kidding. This is Chom Chom. She's a Ridgeback. It's an unusual breed from southern Vietnam. She now lives in Virginia. Her owner taught her this trick. She do it blindfolded, no less.
Oh, blindfolded. I didn't even notice that.
Yes, she's blindfolded. Okay. She performs this for her kennel club, which raises money for her breed.
Really?
That is pretty cool. I like the intense music that goes with it. Like, you might fall a hole like half a foot.
Exactly.
I wonder how happy she is doing
I know. Does she enjoy that? We're not sure. We're not sure. Well, if you've ever wondered what a day in the life of a cow looks like, wonder no more. But I should warn you, this is not your average cow.
Oh, no.
They're just like us, you guys. Well, some cows, I guess. Bruce the cow is anyway. He gets his teeth brushed. He gets his hair done. He sits down for breakfast. You know, all the things we do. A morning jog before you get to work. It's all the things we do.
Who cleans up after Bruce?
I was going to say, how do you house train the cow?
We're not sure. Maybe he's wearing a cow diaper.
I would hope in the bed.
Especially in the bed, yeah. A Little League tournament in New York got a little dramatic this past weekend. Take a look at this. Whoa, these were 11-year-olds out here. They had to make a run for it. A dust devil suddenly whipped up. It spun between third base and home plate, and everyone just sprinted to get out of its path. It lasted about 30 seconds, and then the dust literally settled.
That came close to that catcher.
It did. I know.
Very close.
I know. I thought it swept some of them up.
Yeah.
It didn't faze them in the slightest because they went on to win the tournament. So whatever. Guys, we're 11. We got this. This is so not a big deal. Still to come, they're cute and they're hungry. The goats are back in Calgary, chomping their way through a park near you. We'll join the herd next.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera. It's bouncing around. The winds have picked up, and in parts of the city, we are getting thunderstorm activity right now. Non-severe. But yes, it comes with a downpour, some lightning, some thunder. So yeah, if it's running close to you, definitely get indoors. 16 is that current temperature. We did see a high of 22 degrees, but that was at 3 this afternoon, and we've been dropping in temperature ever since. So our daytime high, pretty much where we should be, but we've been cooling down. It will continue to get cooler. Tomorrow will be a much cooler day. And that's, you can see this colder air that's been moving in. This is led by a cold front that creates the lift, that instability. When you add it to the heat that we have in many communities, that's created some active weather, especially off closer to the Saskatchewan border in Saskatchewan. Look at that line right there. So here are the thunderstorms happening in Calgary and around Calgary right now. These are non-severe, but they are producing big downpours in some isolated areas, and we've got some lightning associated with this as well. You can also see behind this, there are more cells on the way. We have the potential of on-off showers and even the thunderstorm activity up until about midnight tonight in the city, and then things will quiet down. It'll be more stable tomorrow, but it will be cooler and mainly cloudy. The winds will be calm, but just a high of 16 degrees for our day tomorrow. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Okay, taking a little dance around, cooler overall. 28 though in Kamloops for tomorrow, 24 in Golden, and just the teens, high teens for Edmonton, down through Red Deer, mid-teens for Olds and Calgary. So yes, much cooler day. And in fact, even though it's still 20 in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat tomorrow, that's quite a difference compared to the 31 daytime highs for today. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. A Calgary pastor is charged with 3 counts of voyeurism. 68-year-old Brad Dewar is accused of filming women staying at his home without their consent or knowledge. An Alberta mom is warning parents about an online network that targeted her daughter. The group 764 uses threats and blackmail to coerce young people to create sexual abuse materials and to hurt themselves. Air Canada is starting to cancel flights, preparing for flight attendants to be off the job Saturday. Workers could strike or be locked out. Calgary police have released a photo of a man wanted for a random assault at a C-train station. Investigators believe this person assaulted a man who was waiting on the platform at the Marlborough station. It happened July 11th. Police say the victim hit the ground and briefly lost consciousness. He has since been released from hospital. The province has issued a bear warning for all of Kananaskis and the Bow Valley. There's a bumper crop of buffalo berries this year, which is leading to more bear encounters. Parks officials say bears are easy to surprise when they're eating, and they are reluctant to move away from the food source. Anyone in provincial parks and protected areas in K-Country and the Bow Valley needs to be bear aware. That means making noise, traveling in groups, carrying bear spray, and keeping all pets on a leash. The Calgary Wildlife Rehabilitation Society has released an American badger back into the wild after a 3-month rehab. The badger was recovered after a passerby discovered the young animal in a ditch near Vulcan near its dead mother. The Calgary Wildlife team recovered the badger to make sure it wasn't targeted by predators. Over 3 months, that badger was restored to full health and was released back to the wild. Calgary Wildlife says American badgers play a crucial role in maintaining grassland health, helping to manage ground squirrel populations and promoting native plant growth. Yard work can take a lot of effort and a lot of time, but there are some who just eat it up. That's why the City of Calgary is continuing a program to manage green spaces with goats. Alicia Fieldberg met the herd today.
Calgary has goats on landscaping duty again, continuing a program that started in 2016.
Very happy to have the program back on the hill and the goats doing their thing here.
As 800 of them munch in Nose Hill Park, it helps lower the risk of a fire and removes invasive plants.
And over the course of 14 days, they'll be eating about 40 hectares.
A professional shepherd and trained dogs manage the herd 24/7.
I know it looks like I'm just suntanning with goats all day. We're always here actively paying attention to what they're eating.
The goal is to remove woody brush encroaching on the native grassland.
They prefer broadleaf plants, weeds, seeds, and bark over the grasses.
Elk, moose, and bison used to accomplish this when they roamed the area.
And so we're reintroducing grazing back to the landscape for the health of the grassland ecosystems, get rid of their vegetation overgrowth, and stimulate shoot growth.
Goats have an edge over other livestock.
A special enzyme in their belly that helps them deal with toxic plants.
The city says the program costs about the same as herbicide or physically removing plants, but goats come with added benefits: hooves to till the soil and droppings to fertilize it.
The goats are really beneficial, better than mowing or other vegetation management control.
Which is why goats may be the greatest of all time at getting this job done. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
The public is asked to steer clear of the herd, keep dogs on leashes just to keep everyone safe. But some days staff will be available to speak with the public about the program at Nose Hill Park. Happy Gilmore is on any golfer's list of top sports movies, and some of the pros who were in the classic are in Calgary. Glenn catches up with one of them next.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lined up to middle. Nettles got it. Stops on second. Throw to first. It's a triple play. Whoa!
A rare play in Los Angeles last night. Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani hit into a triple play against his former team. The Angels would go on to win the game. Golf has certainly benefited from Adam Sandler's latest movie, Happy Gilmore 2. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, for those who haven't seen it yet, a few of the players from the PGA Champions Tour are actually in the movie.
Tara, unfortunately, John Daly and Fred Couples aren't here for the Rogers Charity Classic, but Corey Pavin is, and he says he had a blast making the movie. This week, Corey Pavin will tee it up in his 9th Charity Classic at the Canyon Meadows Golf and Country Club. While golf is still a priority for the 1995 U.S. Open winner, he's also dabbled in acting. His latest role was in Happy Gilmore 2.
You can always shank one.
Oh, I had to pay a lot of money to get into it. No, it's I met Adam a long time ago, and we keep in touch a little bit. And a good friend of ours works for Netflix, and he kind of ran the show and made sure that I was involved in it as well.
More than 20 current and former stars of the PGA Tour made an appearance in Happy Gilmore 2. Pavin says it was a long day of filming the clubhouse scene, but it gave him time to brush up on his acting skills.
Yeah, it's fun. It's, a little awkward just because, we don't do that kind of thing very often. So you have to kind of try to become an actor, which is difficult. But, they do so many takes that you can't screw it up. So, eventually you kind of relax and you just say your lines and do it.
Happy Gilmore 2 is a hit on Netflix, and it's been a hit for golf as well. You get to know the players outside of the ropes.
These guys get to have a little fun with it and some humor behind it, because most times when they're on the golf course, they're very stoic, right? But the Happy Gilmore is anything but that. So I loved seeing it. I think it's great for the game of golf.
Pavin's not sure if this will be his last film, but it's nice to say he has fame away from the fairways.
But it's fun to be in a movie. It's nice to say it, that I've been in 2 movies now. So I'm a bona fide movie star.
On Tuesday, we saw former champs Ken Tanagawa and Ken Duke try the Happy Gilmore swing. Pavin is now 65 and says, not a chance he's trying.
No, I'm too old to try that. I'm afraid to. I might break something.
Whoa! The club went further than the ball.
Pavin also had a role in Kevin Costner's hit movie Tin Cup back in 1996. Well, tonight on Golf Tips, knowing the rules of game is important, and I found out about that firsthand.
Mackenzie Meadows Golf Tips with PGA Pro Scott Orban.
Glenn, what a great shot. Good chance at a birdie. You're just in the fringe here.
Okay,
what are you going to do?
Well, I got ball. Looks like it's...
Yeah, it looks like it's in a dip.
I'm just going to move that here.
Oh, go ahead. And that's a 1-stroke penalty.
Why?
Because when your ball is in someone else's ball mark, you don't get relief. And I saw your ball bounce and roll, and that's where it ended up. If this would have been your ball mark, then you get free relief. It's a mean rule. So
now this is for par.
Well, because now you picked it up. Now you picked it up. Yeah, you'd be taking a drop. And
I drop it?
Then you'd take a drop and then penalty. So, way to go. You blew that chance. Here, let me tell you another quick rule.
Okay.
If your ball would have been right here, and that ball mark is in your way, okay?
Do I get relief?
Can you repair that ball mark?
No, because it's not on the green.
That's right. See, I told you, this guy knows too much about golf. Can you send me somebody who doesn't know much about golf? Let's hit your putt and see how you do from there.
Okay.
But there's a couple really good rules to know about ball marks, and look at that. But now what you could do, Glenn, is you can repair it afterwards, because you need to take care of the course for the next guy who comes so that he isn't mad on the 17th.
Right.
And there's a couple little rules.
All right, I'll repair this thing here and go for my bogey. Next week on Golf Tips, trying out a different kind of shot.
We need to be writing all these rules down just so you don't forget.
It's a lot of rules.
No one will be out there playing tonight. I can hear the thunder outside the studio.
Yeah, it's not a golf evening at this point. This is when you go inside and have dinner. Take a break at least.
Yeah.
And on and off showers, even some thunderstorm activity possible right till midnight. And then it's quiet tomorrow, but it's also cloudy tomorrow and cool, just a high of 16. And then we get back into the 20s, just barely on Friday. Showers possible in the morning, and then we get back into the mid-20s. So more summer-like weather will return on the weekend, and clouds will start to clear out Saturday morning. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Okay, Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Wayne Honer sent this one in. He took this just west of Calgary, and he's a first-time weather picture submitter. So I would like to say a special thanks to Wayne, but just showing, the cold front swiping through, sparking up some active weather out there today.
Yeah, that's a really cool shot. Wow. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.